Hello everyone, welcome again to the channel. Today I want to talk to you about a new topic in the series of Gnostic philosophy, and today's episode is about sex, relationships, and nature. So let's get started. First of all, I want to tell you that this is the point of view of Gnosis, how Gnosis conceptualizes the relationship with humankind and with our planet. Nature on its own is concerned mainly about two things: the planet survival and humanity's survival. And humanity is just something that is beneficial for the survival of nature, and the planet is just part of what is important for nature. Nature is an intelligent entity and will do everything and anything to accomplish their goals. So from the point of view of the Gnosis, this is what we see in our existence, and many of these things are probably not very well known. So first of all, about the planet survival, um, the planet on its own, according to the Gnosis, needs some kind of life energy. So that's why nature is very interested in the survival of the animal kingdom, the plant kingdom, and other life forms in general, because as a whole, the planet survives on the energy coming from all these life forms. So the nature is interested in the physical integrity of the planet, so the planet won't be destroyed, the survivability of the environment and the habitat, and basically nature will take care of all life forms on the planet and will seek the survival of every life form on the planet. This is just pure survival. From this point of view, nature is very selfish. It doesn't care too much about, let's say, specific needs of a specific animals or specific needs of a specific life forms. It just wants as a whole the planet to survive and to continue to be alive. And the planet survival, it is speculated according to the Gnosis that not only the planet on its own is kind of concerned as a sentient being of these needs, but there are also superior beings. You can call them archangels or other kind of spiritual um, entities that will take care of the planet and will ensure that it survives. Some people will say alien races also want to protect the planet and will do everything to protect it, even from threats coming from the planet itself or the animals or life forms that live on the planet, or from other exterior forces. So they will do everything to ensure the planet's survival and so that it won't be destroyed. And also, the environment and habitat, even though there are cyclical events which somehow cause havoc among different animal kingdoms, plant kingdoms. As a whole, the planet continues and life continues, even if there are some, let's say, temporary resets. The planet on its own continues to live on, and this is exactly what nature intends. And humanity is a very, very special life form in the planet. So for the nature is very important that even though humanity as a whole is just another animal, if you want to see it like that, it is a very special animal because we are important for the survival of the planet. So the planet doesn't want humanity to be extinguished, doesn't want humanity to disappear, and however, humanity is also being controlled in different ways by nature. So humanity is being subjected to all kinds of manipulation from the planet itself, from nature itself. For example, through health, so we see cyclical events that are related to our health, like pandemics, epidemics, all kinds of issues that are related to our health. And it is even speculated that sometimes wars are triggered by nature, because most of humanity is some kind of robot. Somehow we're robots, so we can be manipulated very easily. Our instincts can be triggered in one way or another. So sometimes, to protect the planet from humankind, wars will be fought, pandemics will come, so that humanity will be on the verge of disappearance, but it will never completely disappear. And it is in the interest of nature that humankind reproduces. So that's why there is a lot of intervention from nature, even on politics, but we don't see it that way. And nature is the biggest, let's say, promoter of eugenics, but is promoting eugenics in a very cruel way, if you want to see it that way. That they just want, nature wants the survival of the strongest humans, and it will go to great extremes, to great extents to make sure that the strongest humans survive, because humans as a whole, they are not really interested, or they are not even really aware. Sometimes things that we do as humans are actually going against nature's plan. For example, we see this trend currently where population is diminishing, and this goes against the interest of nature, and also as a whole, because of psychology, because of philosophy, religion, emotions, or whatever, we tend to protect beings that are somehow weak and that should not survive, in a normal, natural way. So that goes against eugenics, because eugenics for the planet to survive needs strong beings, and we are ensuring that weak humans survive, and this goes against the interest of nature as its own. So this is how it goes. So the instinct for reproduction is also manipulated by nature, and we're just basically, like some kind of puppets, some kind of biological robots, if you want to see it, where humanity is just being steered in a specific direction, and without consciousness of how this is being actually done. And I'm just talking about the current state of events, how things are. This is I'm trying to describe nature and how it works in our environment, in our human existence. And as far as human relationships go, we have the, let's say, this phenomena where we see love in our lives, in our interaction with the opposite sex. But in most cases, this is actually some kind of reaction to our inner programming. So the attraction that we feel is basically some kind of instinct. An instinct is another way to say that we are programmed to feel attraction for specific physical features, specific psychological features in the opposite sex, because really it's kind of random and very arbitrary. Why are we attracted to specific traits on women, or why women are attracted to specific traits on men? If you think about it, there is no logic behind it. Like some of them are even completely strange, but it is programming. So we are some kind of biological robots, and all this programming is part of our nature, human nature, and it is embedded in the genes. So we need to pay attention to this as humans, how this actually is part of our existence. Because in every relationship that we have, actually the whole goal of nature is that humankind will survive, and we will ensure that this happens in a very cruel way. I say cruel because it really doesn't pay attention to the feelings of emotions of a specific people, and it will try to accomplish their goals. And the goals are both eugenics, like the survival of the strongest genes, and the survival of the offspring or the children, and we'll go to great lengths to assure this. So in general, for example, women are attracted with men for men with big resources, men that are prone to violence, men that are capable of protecting them, and this is just completely natural. And this is considered a masculine trait, normal masculine trait, and is also associated with high levels of testosterone. But in our society, we are seeing that part of our, let's say, infrastructure, how we are doing things, is actually creating some kind of boycott on this. So the majority of men in our current societies have very low level of testosterone, so we are seeing some kind of perversion of all these normal masculine attributes. And essentially what is happening is that women are going to continue to be attracted to these things, but because there are less and less men available with these traits, what happens is that women will tend to be attracted to the top let's say humans, the top male that have these attributes still. And so there is a higher competition for less and less men that have these attributes. And this is something that we're seeing right now. And this is always actually the norm, but in modern times it has become less and less abundant, these traits in male, and women are still attracted to this. But what we're seeing is also this tendency in nature to kind of mess around with nature's plan, and we are breaking, let's say, the structures for all these things to work in an orderly way. Nature created, let's say, bonding structures, and these bonding structures are both chemical, biochemical bonding structures, and they are enforced with hormones, basically. And through sex, we are creating this bonding, but we are breaking this natural way to do it, because the gender roles are being, let's say, perverted, and polygamy is usually normal, is considered normal. Men are like the ideal situation for nature is a strong man will have a number of women that are loyal to him, but he has the option to have different women, and he will procreate with each and every woman. So he will ensure that his genes are propagated. So from the point of view of the male, it is important that the woman is loyal to him, because he doesn't want to have his resources used to, let's say, raise the children of another man. From the point of view of the male, that's why loyalty in women is expected, and that's why it's considered cheating when a woman goes with another man, because there is some kind of contract, and the contract is, I will provide you with resources, I will take care of your children, but you are supposed to have sex and children only with me. So when a woman goes out with another man, is breaking this contract, and it is perverting the order that we have. But as a whole, society is interested in loyalty, both for men and women, especially in modern times. So we expect men to be monogamous and women to be monogamous. But what happens is that recently the gender role of women has been perverted, and a lot of women are having sex and children with multiple men. And this, of course, makes them unattractive for men. So a man that has a high value in society, or just a man that has a high level of testosterone, a man that is very attractive to women, will not be interested in a woman who has children with many different men, because that for him doesn't guarantee that she will be loyal to him. So he will try to find women that are loyal, women that are somehow innocent, that will be able to stay with him and procreate with him. And this is just nature, natural behavior. But in our current society, this tendency to tell women, okay, you can have sex with as many men as you want, will create this strange, let's say, situation where less and less women are actually attractive to men that have high value. So this creates a big competition for the few women that are actually still attractive, and it is just creating a big problem for nature from the point of view of nature, because it's not allowing a big number of successful reproduction. And what happens is that sometimes women, and this is all created by nature, is some kind of programming. You know, nature messes up with our programming, and what nature wants is to have their way. So how does it have their way? For example, a normal man that has high value will have sex with a woman that has low value, but it will not create a bond with her. She will not be his couple, but then his seed, which is a strong seed, will become a child. But because he will not take care of this woman, then nature has to come up with some solution for this. And what it does is creates some men that are less strong, let's say even from the point of view of testosterone. When man has less testosterone, it will be less violent, but it will have a lot of protection attitudes. So this weak man will take care of the children of the strong man. So sometimes this man will not even impregnate the woman, and he will just take care of the numerous children this woman has with very strong men, and he will not have even one child of his own. This is the extreme situation. But in many cases, I think even as one in every five, I think I read this statistic that 1 in 5 children are not really from the father, let's say from the head of the family. And these women is doing it, they are doing it instinctively. You know, nature is just programming them to seek for strong men, and they will find a strong man, they will procreate with him, and then they will come back to the safety of a house with a weak man that will protect her. So that's why I think that this is very cruel arrangement, but nature doesn't care. Nature doesn't care about the feelings of men, nature doesn't care about the feelings of women, and this is just the way things are. And sometimes we have society taking a role, even family or relatives, So even if a woman is not able to take care of the children, her family will help her, her relatives will help her take care of the child. Even society, our modern society, creates a lot of structures to help single women. So what happens is that we see sometimes women that have as many as 4 or 5 children, each with a different man, and then they are not able to take care of them, but then society takes care of them. So this somehow compensates for society the lack of available options for men to procreate. So men will not form bonds with women that have low value, but they will still procreate. So this is actually the way things are. This is the state of things as we live now in our society. And this is getting graver and graver. So this is just the current status of things. I'm not describing anything that you can deny, that you can say this is not true. So what I'm talking about here now is what is called the norm. So the norm is, this is mathematical concept that say that everything that falls into this central part is what the majority of people do. And let's say as far as relationships, as far as sex goes, the majority of people will be in the middle. And the majority of people will be interested in sex and procreation, but will have very low value. Very low value, and this will be probably men that are not very masculine, women that have very low value, and then we have the extremes on either end. On the negative side, we will have, for example, people who are married but they don't have children, or they don't have any interest in having children. They are already not normal because they are not serving the interests of nature. And on the lower end, then we will have what is already considered abnormal. So in the abnormal side, we have people who become sterile, or they are, let's say, they have homosexual tendencies and they are not ever going to have children of their own. People who are having, I don't know, sex with robots, sex with animals, sex with all kinds of things that are not going to produce a positive effect for humankind. So nature is not interested in this. This is considered abnormal. So on the lower end, we will have this, let's say, tendency. And then we have the upper end, everything that goes above the norm. So we will have people with high value, both men and women. So we will have women that are having a high value for any man that can pick them. So they will be a good candidate for a high value man. And then we have here also high value men, and high value men can be measured in different ways, both biologically, men that have very good genes, women that have very good genes, and also men that have a high level of resources, physical resources, financial resources, all kind of resources that they can use to protect their women. So this is already a little bit above the norm. And then we have what is the extreme of this, which will be the top portion of the population of men and women that are going to have extremely high value, extreme high level of resources, and are also going to be people that serve best the interest of nature. So we will have, I don't know, let's say some extreme examples. For example, people here in the middle tend to have, I don't know, three children in average. Then we see people in this range, and maybe they have 10 children on average. And then on this extreme, we see, strange cases of some men that have as many as 100 children. So this goes already above the norm. So this will be considered supernormal. From the point of view of nature, this is the way things are. and this can be defined in a mathematical way. So this is the normal. Again, if there is nothing strange about this. This is just how we can describe what nature wants from us and what is the current situation. And by changing our behavior, we can go from one extreme to the other, but we really don't change our nature. We just change, let's say, somehow the results that we have. So from the point of view of Gnosis, what we want to do is breaking with the norm. We don't want to go anymore to become part of this, but we want to break with the norm because we are not going to, let's say, obey the dictates of nature, and we are going to use suprasexuality, and we are going to stop just being a robot. We are going to overcome our programming, and we are going to become self-conscious. We are going to free ourselves from the programming of nature, and we can really become autonomous, and we can make our own decisions, and just stop being just this robot that is basically used for the purposes of nature. And this is what nature intends, and just being part of nature is not enough anymore. That's why Gnosis is concerned with the freedom of mankind, emotional freedom, spiritual freedom, even physical freedom, sexual freedom, all kinds of things that can really liberate us, and we can become more than what we are, and we can go beyond the norm. Basically, that's what we want to achieve with the Gnosis, and I think this is, in these modern times, this is radically important. And that's all I wanted to say for now. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section. And I want to remind you again about the opportunity to support my work. In the description of each episode, I include information about different platforms you can use to support my work with donations. If you want to, you can also share this episode in social media and subscribe. I hope to see you again very soon. Thank you for watching.